Welcome, everyone. This is Polyphenols, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Terry Adwin,
Hi, hi.
Sanswinda,
Hello.
Quarendas,
Hello, everyone.
Arendis,
Hey, everybody.
and Calabathian.
Hi, I forgot to put the cats out, but hi, yes.
You forgot to put the... It's going to be one of those shows. Let's begin with our gaming news for this week, where we had an update 28.2, The Revenge of the Creeps.
Oh, yeah.
And it's delicious. We are living deliciously. We are living deliciously.
They did such a good job on that. I'll wait till you get there in the notes, but...
Right. Of special notes, we have War of Three Peaks Tier 5 is now available. Tier 5 difficulty in Shakalush is a stair battle, and Amdan Damnu is a Bloody Threshold will become available on the 10th of December at noon, which of course it's past that time now, so it is now available. The Leading the Charge and Ahead of the Curve deeds and titles will be available for both instances through January 20th, 2021, turning off at January 1st, 2021 at 3 a.m. Eastern U.S. time. And there are new Yuletide Hobbit gifts. Special winter gifts have been added to the Hobbit presents for the Yule Festival season. Silver Hobbit presents in the Boost category and Gold Hobbit presents in the Advanced Supplies category will come packaged with a special winter cosmetic. The seasonal gifts include housing decorations, cosmetic pets, and mounts. Rarely, your seasonal Yule gift will be a selection of package of Yule Hobbit present items from 2019. All special winter Hobbit presents gifts can now be disenchanted into 2 Yule Festival tokens each using the Flame of Ankalamir should you receive an unwanted or duplicate gift. The Yuletide Festival begins on December 10th, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern, and the festival runs until January 1st through January 1st until January 5th, 3 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time.
Hey, Pine Leaf.
Yes?
I just got an email that said that you've gone live on Twitch.
Okay.
Cool.
So
our show is now live on Twitch.
Yeah, I just didn't know if that was on purpose or if you hit the wrong button in OBS or...
Ooh, my...
Whoops!
I mean...
Hi, Pine Leaf's Twitch!
Nice to see you, Pine Leaf's Twitch!
Well, that's...
Good evening, everyone.
The problem, especially considering
Especially
that...
since it says we're playing DDO.
Yes, I do have to... Unfortunately, I do have to correct that because that was done instead of the backup recording.
The backup recording might become important, as we noticed last week.
Yes, so therefore I will stop the Twitch thing. Sorry, goodbye Twitch, and resume my regular recording.
Oh yeah, we're fully doing it on Twitch right now. I found your channel.
Pine Leaf Needles, Frosty Fridays, and DDO, Dungeons and Dragons Online.
Oops.
Very well. All right. Now let's get
Thanks
back.
For playing.
Yes. Now, concerning Hobbit gifts, yes, I have gotten a few of those pop up when I've opened up Hobbit presents this week. In fact, we were making jokes about the kid in a sweater. One of the ones when we were at Friday Night Fights last night, and as I was doing that, I rolled my gold present, opened it up, and I got the kid in the sweater. So,
nice. Morgan Deer has that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Morgan Deer has the kid in the sweater, and I'm trying to think of something to call it, like, my bat for him is Goth Mouse, and the little russet hedgehog is a Goth Possum. I don't know that there's anything possible for that kid in a sweater, goth anything, because it's a baby goat in a sweater.
Yes.
Just name it. Why am I here?
Why am I here?
Right.
Or just the black sheep.
Is it that same thing that cats dressed in sweaters say? Why am I here? Also, Legendary Worlds Gondor. The Legendary Worlds of Honor and Ithil will have their level cap increase to 100 on December 16th, opening access to the regions of Western Gondor, Central Gondor, Eastern Gondor, and Old Anorian.
Wait, did you say September or December 16th?
I hope I said December, but...
Okay, because I heard September, and I was like, hold up.
No, he really did say December.
Okay.
I'll need to make those two words more distinct in the future, I would hope.
It's my brain. My brain has been weird today. Well, weirder today.
This content includes the Paths of the Dead, Gondor Aflame, Ashes of Osgiliath, and the Siege of Minas Tirith. Read more about our Legendary Worlds on LOTRO.com. Arrives on the Legendary Worlds of Honor and Ithil on December 16th, starting at 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, though more likely based on the usual days in which they reboot the server. Actually, it's the 16th is the... Yeah, 16th is a Wednesday, so that actually might be restart day. So that might be around the time the worlds come back up on the weekly restart. For our news and notes for classes, reference values have been fixed for the Lore Master Analysis skill because they've been out of whack for how long at upper levels? Where I know whenever you're at an upper level, it just says, everything's remarkable. That's it. Well, that gives us a lot of information.
I just find it ironic that it's called a reference value, and it's a lore master, which deals with books like reference items. So it's kind of like saying a librarian has a reference value, and I'm like, I see what you did there.
As for items, Shattered legendary titles have been buffed across all... Statted legendary titles have been buffed across all level ranges. LI titles will better reflect the content that gives them out. Fellowship tradable items now show whether they're bind on account or bind on character in examination tooltips.
Useful to know.
Fixed a bug where Fellowship tradable items would always bind to account when the owner is still logged in. New legendary item titles, now new portrait frames, housing items, and more have been added to the March on Gundabad Quartermaster. The new legendary item titles and portrait frames are available at Kindred for supply pack barter, and the new housing decorations are available at Kindred for copper coins of Gundabad barter. And I am glad...
We need to talk about this. We need to talk about this because we need to talk about supply packs. Because since they decided to do this introduction, I actually took a look at supply packs, and they suck, guys. The recipes aren't too bad, except for the fact that they require those Ithalarn shards, which, I'm sorry, they don't drop from, like, anything.
And you need them for everything.
And you need them for you need them for everything. You need them when you're crafting any of the stuff from that tier.
It doesn't matter if you want just a shirt, if you want a new bow, if you want, like, whatever you want, you need those stupid shards that don't drop. And some of those
supply pack barters, you need 15 of those supply packs. And so I looked in the AH to see if there were any in the auction house. There were. There were a whole 4 in the auction house for 234 gold apiece.
Youch.
Yeah.
Now we've been questing at this tier for 2 expansions now. So for Minas Ithil and for War of Three Peaks, I have none. I have never, ever, ever gotten one.
Yeah,
I have expansions.
Yeah, I had a couple on Crick Hollow, and in fact, what I found is because when I saw that the portrait frame only cost 1 supply pack, and I figured, well, I'm never going to get more than 3 supply packs because I haven't seen one drop in so long. I just said, all right, let's see what this portrait frame looks like. I think I went back to my previous portrait frame after looking at it.
Oh.
I I think there are a lot
I
prettier
really
ones
want
out
the
there.
LI title, and I've been looking at some of like the gear and the essences and stuff, and I would really like to do some of that. Terry doesn't do crafting, but I do have a Minnesithal yeoman. My other champion is actually tiered up to Minnesota crafting, so and he can use that recipe for the supply packs, which is how I know what it costs to make the thing. And he's got all of the stuff except those damn shards because they don't drop from anything, and I don't.
Blue
I'm
Nori
sorry, I don't
points
have.
out that you can get 2 per week if you do the Minnesmorgul weeklies. Is that
That's probably where I
Minnesmorgul
got the
weeklies
3 that I
and
had.
like the
Okay, but
Langhold weeklies too, or just the
you have
Minnesmorgul?
to,
I don't know.
Just Minnesmorgul.
Just
but you
Minnesmorgul.
have to unlock the Minnesmorgul weeklies, which means going back and finishing all of that stuff, which I discovered that Terry hasn't actually done because I don't even know where she's at to even get to reclamation stuff. Because you can get them from, you can get embers from Minnesmorgul stuff too, and I can't because she doesn't have it unlocked.
I can help you because Sans had to figure it out. But
I'll tell you,
I want to beat my head against the wall. It's so annoying.
Even for those of us who have had the Minnesmorgul weeklies unlocked, it's frustrating. I can remember them dropping in the instances that you do for the weeklies. They don't anymore, or in the box. When you go at the end, you could roll on it, and you could get stuff. I really think it's been since like War of the Three Peaks came out that they don't seem to be dropping as much. But I couldn't guarantee that. I wasn't making a note of everything, but I know that they haven't recently. The only consistent ones I've been getting are the ones from doing the weeklies.
And I can tell you, because I've looked at all of the other shards, all of the other shards are dropping with some regularity, actually, because I get them all the time on all of my other characters who have zero use for them because I don't craft stuff at that tier. And
right.
Plus you can barter for the low level shards at the skirmish camp.
And low-level shards drop off of the unique mobs too, but there don't seem to be any mobs that drop them at the high levels. We killed that one warg that was named on accident.
God. I would go after scourges with a vengeance if they dropped shards.
Right?
I'd be hunting those things on a daily basis. If there was even a chance that they drop shards, because I'm pretty sure they don't at all. It's not even a loot table.
I've never had one from them, and I've gone hunting them because it was fun.
We need either an increased drop rate for the shards or figure out a better way to get us the stuff because it's not going to happen and people are going to complain because we're doing it already. If it's bad enough for me to complain about it, it's really bad. Because there's a lot of stuff that a lot of people will complain about at the drop of the hat, and I'm like, yeah, it's really not that bad. But no, it really is that bad. I hate to be forced to do crafting for anything. You guys know me.
Yeah.
But it's better if the crafting is possible.
Well, yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
But being forced to do crafting for anything is ridiculous, and I hate it.
Yeah, I remember that week where I was looking for the indigo in order to make this stuff before I realized what
those
else
indigo
I needed.
are everywhere.
Yeah, the week
literally everywhere. Because you'd pick up one and we'd turn around and look, there's another one.
Hey, they should get a shard drop possibility on those. There'd be a rush on them though because everybody needs shards and they don't drop very often.
Yeah, so either, an increased drop rate on shards would be appreciated across the board anyway, just because you need them for so much stuff if you're going to do the crafting. But yeah. Also, I would like a better way to get figments, pretty please. Let me trade my motes for fig. I could swear that we used to be able to trade motes for figments. Where?
I think I've seen them at the barters at Estelablan, maybe?
No, I looked. You can trade other stuff for figments, but you can't trade your motes for figment. Or not for figments, sorry. Motes for embers.
No, I don't think
so.
That
way.
Wrong currency.
You can trade them for the cosmetic ones, but you can't trade them for the ones you want for endgame stuff.
Yeah, the end games. Yeah, they're intentionally. Yeah, that was intentionally done.
Yeah, so because I don't have a problem doing missions. I'll do missions all day long, but it's only giving me motes, which helps nothing.
I just spend my motes in order to since I still have plenty of legacies that are low enough that I can get I can use the moats to get scrolls to bump them
And
up.
also, well, also while we're talking about trading stuff for scrolls, can we get some better scrolls and crystals, please? Because you know what? The scrolls that I can barter for with my Gabble Akka Warmark, whatever things that I've maxed out, that I've actually capped out the currency 3 times now on Terry.
Yes.
I can't use those scrolls! She still has some work to go on her LI, but I can't use those scrolls because it's past that tier. I've been sending him to Welldress so he can use them on his LI.
Yes.
But
yeah.
we need to increase the cost to barter for the better ones, but give us something. Jeez. Like, how else am I supposed to cap out my weapon? I can't.
They're expecting you to do that with the high-end stuff.
Which I can't do because I can't get into any of that stuff because my gear's not good enough because I don't have the embers to trade for the gear and I don't have the stars to craft the essences.
It's only like 82 days in Minas Tirith or something.
In which Tiriadwin loses her cool.
I mean, yeah, or stops playing Lotro. I don't know.
Actually, I made this noise a lot on Tuesday. We'll get to that later.
Okay, yeah, we will get that to later. Yeah, let us move off this topic and head on to the next one, and that is new housing items have been added to the Gabilaka Quartermaster. And actually, I have bought a few of those because I kept on hitting cap. I said, well, what do I do? What do I spend these marks on now? Okay, let me get some of these new housing items. So I've been looking at those and seeing what they look like. And there's some nice ones in there. So if you like to have a crystal field, because they have some corrupted crystals, for example, that you can get, and similar things like that. Oh yes, and of course a definitely not explosive barrel.
Oh, actually, one of the other things I wanted to bring up was, so I got Terry the cosmetic goat pets, and even though it says bind to account on acquire, which makes it sound like you should be able to get the goat pets again so that you can send them to the alt, you can't.
What?
They're like the jig emote then. Where it's like,
well,
you can send it, you can barter for it and send it, but once you actually use it, you can't barter for it anymore ever.
Again. Yeah.
Which is a bummer. Because what am I supposed to use all those marks on?
Oh,
right?
hold on.
I have now bought all 3 sets of cosmetic armor.
All right, so you're saying that even though a different character used it, you can't...
No, Terry used it. So I can't barter for it again to send it, because I was going to... I was like, you know what? Let me get more pets to send to another alt, but I can't.
Oh, because the barter has the barring skill, has the...
Because it's like, well, what the heck am I supposed to use these marks on?
Yeah.
I keep yapping out because I'm doing all the missions, because I actually like doing missions, especially missions with trolls. We'll get to that. We'll get to that, too.
Yeah. Yes. A new legendary item title has been added as a reward for Tier 3+ completion of Remerhant. Cosmetic pet horns now have more appropriate sounds while moving.
What kind of...
Yeah. What did they sound like before?
I know they made kind of a rustling tree walking sound, so I don't know what they sound like now because I haven't gotten Sarissa out. She's the only one I have with a horn pet. She's got the white one from Fangorn.
I'm just wondering what kind of sounds is a tree supposed to make? It's more appropriate.
I don't know.
Were people freaking out because they heard my horn coming and they thought it was a great big tree attacking them? I don't know.
Oh,
but maybe I gotta tell you, that Yule tree horn that drops out of the Hobbit prizes is one of the cutest things I've seen.
The poinsettia one?
Oh. No, there's a Yule tree one. It looks like a walking Christmas tree. It's so
okay,
cute.
I have a story for that later.
Okay.
Tidbit for later.
All right, so pet horns, maybe now they sound like saplings.
Maybe.
I don't know.
They're like higher pitched voices. They're chipmunks or something in order to sound younger.
Yeah. Crossbows will remain sheathed during the stoic pose emote. Traveler Steelbound loot boxes now have a selection of Yuletide appropriate items for a limited time, including 2 new hobby horses, a goat wearing a sweater, though as I mentioned earlier, you can get the goat wearing a sweater out of a Hobbit present.
You can get the hobby horses too, or at least one of them.
Actually, I believe that this is a type of this. Actually, I think Cordovan during his show yesterday said that should have been, as far as he knows, that was supposed to be Hobbit presents said there. Now, it's possible that Steelbound loot boxes might also have them, but he isn't completely sure that that's right, but he is sure that they are the Hobbit presents, as we confirmed. And a cask-laden donkey pet and a mount. A cask-laden donkey cosmetic pet has been added to the Adventurers and Travelers loot boxes, as well as Bartle Rope from Filbert Fig. As you can see here, this one is also talking about the same thing being in the loot boxes. So I have a feeling that the Hobbit, that somehow the Hobbit present list and the loot box list got commingled somewhere. Universal crafting ingredients have been added as a possible consumable item drop from Adventurers and Travelers loot boxes.
Yay.
A rare crafting component selection box, crafting tiers 2 through 12, has been added as a possible crafting resource drop from Travelers loot boxes.
Oh, maybe you can get the shards from there.
Maybe.
Of course,
it says 2 through 12.
Yeah, that wouldn't work. Would it?
I don't know. Are we on tier 12 or are we on tier 13? I have no idea what tier we're on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the problem.
I don't craft.
Yes. An Elder Slade supply pack has been added as a rare crafting resource drop from Adventurers loot boxes. So the top loot boxes can directly drop the supply pack.
Yay.
But
not
that's
spending a bunch of money to get keys.
Yeah, we don't. You got a point there.
By the way,
I don't even get the boxes anymore because I'm not spending money to get keys. I got the boxes filtered out. I don't even get them.
Yeah, so do I.
As a crafter, the highest tier is tier 13.
I had a feeling that would be the case. Adventurers loot box gear, when opened at level 130, will now create an item at level 428 with the chance to create an up to item level 430. And board-mounted jump animation is smoother for all races. Board mounting animation has been fixed for all races.
Just a comment about the loot box gear. The Rimmercant stuff, the tier 1 is 426. So it's a little bit better than if you could do tier 1 Rimmercant right now.
Okay.
Nice.
Just an observation.
As for PVMT, Update 28.2 brings some behind-the-scenes work for PVMP in the game that will allow us to better control balance in the future.
Yay!
They did such a good job on this.
Yes.
They did.
Creeps now receive a generic multiplier base HP and damage to help keep pace with player itemization. This multiplier can also be quickly updated to let us bump creeps whenever new content is released with higher item level itemization for free players.
Woo!
Lots of tweaking to specific creep-based rating values as well as trait and skill rating values. Creeps will now generally start with significantly better ratings even before they add corruptions.
Yep.
Which is very helpful.
So you don't need 8 people to take you out on the moor to get your first map.
Yes.
Seriously.
Physical mitigation corruptions now also give BPE boosts. Tactical mitigation.
Boy, do they.
Yes. Tactical mitigation corruptions now give resistance. Resistance corruptions still exist, but they will probably be replaced, altered when we have a chance to expand the corruption tray and do a more deliberate pass on corruptions.
Yeah, I actually swapped out a resistance corruption with a physical mit corruption, so yeah.
Yeah, I swapped out all my resistances.
Yeah. Updated a lot of morale power regen sources, including monster play, skill traits, and many consumables for both creeps and creeps. A number of area of effect abilities are now non-fellowship dependent.
Sweet.
And upgraded guards keep defenders and landscape mobs in the intermoors. All guards defenders get an increase in general mitigation and finesse stats. Creep guards defenders gain a larger HP increase and a medium damage increase. Freep guards defenders gain a large damage increase and a medium HP increase. And landscape mobs gain a more modest increase of morale and damage. Teleportals are no longer usable in combat at the center keep backdoor or the creep fleet entrances in the Enten Deep. I think the next one was some tweaks that were done on Bulwark. Have absolutely nothing to do with the live thing, so I'm skipping those. But there are random bug fixes, balanced out the damage of some Reaver multi-hit skills, Black Arrow Snare damage reduction, Gash and Steadfast Barrage traits no longer conflict, Steadfast Barrage damage and ranged reduce, Steadfast Barrage toggle now cancels past 30 seconds. This checks infrequently, so your exact distance may vary.
30 meters.
30 meters. Oh, that's 30 meters. Yes, not 30. That's 30 meters, yes. And upper hand trait now properly increases block parry reduction.
So in practice, on the moors, what this means is that the lone Freep can't wipe the Warg pack. Because before, like, a lone burglar...
In its entirety, I should say.
In its entirety.
They can still take out a couple of us, but not the whole pack.
Right, because before this update, a lone burglar would take out all 8 wargs, plus whoever else showed up to help us, by themselves, and still be moving and living and whatever. And now they can take out some of us, but they have to hips or do something to get away, or else they will die. And that is a major improvement.
Yes.
We even managed to take on a champion without losing all of us. That was pretty cool.
Which, before this update, was just, it
Impossible.
Wasn't going to happen.
No.
It wasn't going to happen.
We even had a guardian give us enough hard time because he kept healing that at one point in time in the past that, yeah, we of course it's harder with their armor, but yeah, I mean, even the guardian heals were strong enough that we could not manage to take one out. 6 of us.
Right.
Before getting decimated.
Yes.
Yeah. So this was a major improvement, and it seems to be working as intended. The Freeps are going to have to learn to work together and not just go solo crades. But,
So sorry, not really sorry at all. It's great.
Welcome to how the dark side, quote unquote, live. We actually have to try to coordinate together, and we still don't succeed a lot of times in the past. Now you all can join us on the moors.
Yeah, I didn't even get killed by the Runekeeper stone. Like, I was running, and a Runekeeper, like, I ran into a Crade Frayed, like, match earlier today, and a Runekeeper dropped a stone, and it stunned me, but it didn't, like, instantly kill me, and it was amazing.
Yeah, it is actually pretty great to be able to actually participate now in crades and not just run in and die instantly.
Yep.
Yeah, and we've talked before about how bad, Runekeeper stunts have been in the past, and I know that we ran into one a day or two ago, and I don't know if any of us died in that fight.
Stuns are still bad. You still get stunned for a ridiculous amount of time.
Sure, the stun itself is not bad, but it's survivable now, as opposed before it was, if you get stunned once, you're basically done, because you'll get outdamaged pretty quickly.
And I noticed that the pretty much the day it rolled out, or soon after, we were out on the moors, and none of the Freeps wanted to come out of GV. They wouldn't want to come out because we were, and we were, the creeps were like, enjoying themselves camping the good people's home base, just like they were doing us over and over and over. So that, it's like, hey, let's run out and die. And then we get rezzed and back home, and we run out and we die. And
the difference being that it's balanced enough that the tables haven't, like, completely flipped.
No.
Because solo Freep can run into a group of us and not instantly die. I mean, we still have to work at it to take out solo Freep. We don't just roll over them.
Right. It still
Just
takes a lot of work to take somebody down.
Yeah, it does actually take a lot of work. So all of this crying that they're doing about creeps being overpowered is nonsense.
And, like, running into one of them by ourselves is pretty much death anyway. It's just not insta-death. Like, who was it? Algebra the other day ran into somebody and was fighting them and died. But that was, like, it was an actual fight. He got, like, 3 bites in before he died. So, that was pretty cool. We couldn't get there in time, but it's much better than it was, so.
Solo Bergs can't just blitz through the work pack.
I have noticed that a lot of the creeps, even, that are yelling about it, have Freeps as well, or they switched over from the free people to the creeps. And they're the ones that seem to be the majority of the voices saying that we're too OP now. And I'm like, we can't trust your opinion.
Well, I mean, aside from all the Black Arrows supposedly crying about the nerfs, which I think is ridiculous because Black Arrows were.
Yeah. Now you were talking, or earlier notes you were talking about the camping out the free respawn area. I'm wondering if they had just coordinated together, wouldn't they have been able to break the siege?
Oh, they did. They broke through, and they killed quite a number of us when they did. But they had to actually work together because, like, the lone ones who would come running through and then nobody would follow them didn't last past the Kraid. Whereas before,
actually, it took a fair number to break through, but then they didn't follow up on it. They just retreated again, which
they were just
retarded.
like, "Oh, we're done." But no, like before, if we were trying to get them to come out and play, like one would come out and pretty much wipe the whole Kraid who had gathered there. Whereas now, if one comes out, the whole Kraid is a match for them. So they have to actually send out a decent number of Freeps if they want to encounter the creeps. Instead of 1 or 2.
Yeah. Wouldn't they have also been qualifying for a ranger to bring out a ranger with them?
I don't know.
You have to turn stuff in to get a ranger.
Oh, okay.
Like, you can't just get out a ranger. You have to collect things from the landscape in the moors to turn into the ranger to get them to come with you. Because the creeps have a similar thing, which is why you almost never see the trolls out.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the one I think I actually once tried to troll, and I think I lasted about half a second.
Which was how badly balanced it was that even you getting into the body of a troll, you get wiped in like a half a second.
Yeah.
Actually watched Yiki do that on stream one night. Yeah, he wasn't lasting long, but he lasted longer than some. He lasted a couple of minutes, but yeah, it still wiped out the troll.
I'd be really curious to play a troll now. I think I've got all the
interesting.
Let's then head into our quests and adventure areas. First, the mount restriction for picking up various item nodes, such as blueberries, honey, and taters, has been removed.
Yay! Thank you!
I was pretty sure a few people would be cheering on that one. The French and German Breland maps have been updated to include the Breland homesteads.
Oh, that's handy.
The Mithril travel and quest guides have been fixed for quests What Ails You and Emerald Firefly.
That's for Midsummer. We'll appreciate it next year.
Yeah. Okay. All mount types can now be used in Thorn's Hall.
Yay! They're no longer
Quick, everybody take their pigs.
Hobby horse time!
Hobby horses were allowed, actually. It was the pigs that weren't.
Yes, the pigs.
Oh, it was the pigs that weren't? Okay.
Yeah, unlike Rivendell, where you could ride the pigs, but you still can't ride your hobby horse.
Because it's not safe enough in Rivendell. What?
Yes. Missions. And characters at different levels in Fellowship Duos no longer need to acquire every quest in available quest category on an NPC in order to be able to see the available private encounters category. All right, I guess I had thought these came out before. No, that must have been on Bulwer where I ran to these before. Canceling missions will no longer incorrectly apply to the daily reset timer. Frost Bluff. For players who have access to missions, a new quest has been added to Frost Bluff. See Mara Sandy Downs for an additional opportunity to earn Yule Festival tokens.
Yeah, so before starting your daily missions, you can go to Frostbluff and pick up the do a mission quest, and then do your missions, and one of those missions will count, and you get Yule tokens in addition to all of the other stuff, which is great.
Yes. Now, I should just note that the first time you do this, you will unlock a deed, and you need to complete that quest 40 times in order to earn a special mount. And it says apparently the intent was that this be done over several festivals. It's like, okay, that means it's going to take me 3 years to get this
Probably.
mount. It's a gray donkey, I believe.
All that for never mind.
Yes, I quite get your meaning on that. Yes. Now, of course, some people are complaining about this because obviously there are going to be people who are going to get it this year because they're going to spend
Of course there are.
mithril to do so. But yes, that
Can you
is.
reset that quest with mithril? I don't know if you can.
Yep, you can reset. The trouble is that you would have to take the quest, do a mission, come back, turn it in, spend 5 mithril to unlock it again, go back to another mission. Because if you do all 8 missions, because you won't be able to reset the missions, I think. Right?
No, I think you can reset the missions.
Oh. I guess that's something I never noticed. Right? That tells you how often I reset quests that I didn't even notice that you could do that with missions. But the idea there is that it is possible. But it looks like that the original intent is that it'll take you more than one festival in order to be able to complete all 40. When I saw it was 40, I thought, what? 40?
Well, originally, the More the Merrier deeds were intended to be completed over several festivals.
Oh, yeah, people complained about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then a new music track by Bill Champagne has been added.
And it's awesome. Thank you.
I've had some kidmates who had that drop as a housing item for
yay!
Hobbit presents.
That's awesome.
So
it's a great track, actually. It's very festive. I felt very festive when I was yelling at people and cheering snow beasts.
Then for Anakurfu, Fetmar and Likumun will now properly keep their game of Hammers and Bones out of your chat log while you are visiting.
Thank you. No, I love those guys, but they are spammy.
Yes, they tended to be spammy in there. And while they were fixing that, they apparently discovered a few tricks that they might be able to take advantage of for future updates because apparently in the past the only way they could do this would be in the spammy type situation because of the type of situation it was. So they were able to open up potential future possibilities while they were fixing that, which is always nice to give them a little extra tool in the toolbar.
Cool.
Can I ask a question about Anat Kerfu? I've noticed that when you leave out, they have the stable master pretty much inside, and you can like if you need to go talk to get your VIP stuff, you can leave there and go to like wherever if you're not a hunter, you know what I mean. You don't actually have a port,
Right.
To basically do that. But when you want to come back, how do you actually get back there without having to spend a mithril point when you're not on level?
Are you VIP?
Yes.
There are specific stable masters that will take you to an Corfu.
Where are they located?
They are in they're in dwarf locations. So
dwarf locations? Okay.
Yeah, Thorns Hall. There's a spot in Bree by the dwarf quarter.
By the big statue where you end the Ale Association drinking.
Yeah. A couple of other places.
Okay.
So I usually just take the stable master to Thorns Hall because I know there's one right there. It's like literally across the courtyard from where Wenda is. To come right back.
Yeah, because I had done that a couple of times now, and I had gone to like the housing area to do that, and I was like, wait a minute, I have to, there's no direct route there without mithril, and then I had gone to Mickle Delving.
Oh. And don't you use the housing decoration?
What housing decoration?
Oh yeah, there's a VIP housing decoration too.
Is that the table?
It's the
Yes.
table.
Yeah. I did not know it did that. That's why I haven't been using it. But yes, I can do that.
Yeah, that's the purpose of it. The purpose of
Plop
it is
it down somewhere, click on it. There you go.
Yeah, I thought it was just a table.
No, you can click on it and it will take you right to an Corfu.
Okay, well then,
kind of like how the Mordor door takes you to Mordor,
and the banner takes you to Minnesithal Besieged.
And what does
the banner? You have to be that specific level, though.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm going to keep that in mind for the future because I was like, man, do I have to spend a mithril every time? Because yeah, it's been that kind of week, and I've been tired, and my brain has been kind of twitchy.
No, I just always go to Thorin's Hall just because I know it's easier. Plus, right up the hill from where you are at the Stable Master is the skirmish camp at Thorin's Hall, where you can get your rep accelerators so that you can progress through the Gabalaka rep tiers faster.
Because you can't actually like buy anything from the vendors until you're at a certain level, right?
You're going to max out your currency before you hit that tier.
Okay.
For Kingstead, fixed the flow issue with the instance The Road to Dunharrow, where players could get stuck if they followed into the Paths of the Dead.
They would be stuck in the Paths of the Dead? Like the dead?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. For Moria, consolidated 4 Moria tabs into a single tab on the Rovanian page of the deed log.
Okay. Yay!
Because otherwise we're going to run out of room when we add Gundabad.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's way easier now. You have one Moria tab. You don't have to try and figure out, okay, which of this Moria sections am I in?
Right.
Yeah, that was a bit annoying. For Mirkwood, Sabrith, Queen of the Sathwithil, will no longer display her name before she jumps down during the fight of the instance Mazag in the web.
Yeah, I remember someone mentioning that one. Yeah.
It was talked about for Boror notes.
Yeah.
Mist Hollow, adjusted several mithril travel destinations.
I guess we'll appreciate that next year.
Shades in the Swamp addressed some quest guide issues with the shades in Ghostly Figures. In the Shire, fixed a missing quest guide for eggs for Gammer Tunneling. Veils of Anduin, the crumbled note can now be read from the quest tracker during Grimbjorn's interruption.
Oh, goody.
War of the Three Peaks. Shakalush, the stair battle, the boss 3 gate now opens.
Yay!
Helpful.
I guess that's a good thing.
And dual reward chests now spawned correctly. Quest, pilfering Orcish orders has been grounded. Orcish orders will no longer be floating in the air.
Well, that's a relief.
And fix a typo in the quest, routing the spies. For Wildermore, banners for the quest What Waits at Beer Tour will now respawn more slowly, and I'm trying to think, why is this needed? I just heard what confusion was there. That I guess because I'm so used to things where we wish they would respond faster. Like a certain
Maybe because
notes.
it's a little disconcerting for some people who were doing this quest to burn the banner and then turn around and it would be back.
Yes, that's the only thing I could think of there. And the search for Garstig's farm, players who were stuck on this quest should be able to complete it now. And also, there were quite a number of updates for the maps in the French and German clients in there. And they also had some English map updates in Eredluine and Thorn's Gate.
I like that you're no longer in a thunderstorm when you log out of a stormy area.
Yes.
Thanks!
You will no longer hear rain and thunder on your character selection screen when logging out of a stormy area. Well, that's good to know. And that's quite a bit of stuff for update 28.2. Now, one more item that came with this update that was announced separately, and that is race changes are finally available. You can change your race, gender, and or origin in LOTRO now, though I hope no one is spending a race change token just to change their origin.
I mean, I could see it if they actually like remembered you where you came from, but like my elves who've been from Rivendell, they're like, "Hey, we don't know you," or like my elves from Lothlorien, they're like, "Hey, we don't know you." So
you can't.
Yeah, even making it all the way to Mirkwood, they didn't know her.
So you see on there, and they have a full race change guide in here, and the sample character they used in order to change race was called Change Guide. Nice appropriate name. So you get it. It costs you $24.95 LOTRO points in order to.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's about what I was expecting it to be. So I'm not shocked there, though I'm sure there are a lot of people who are wishing it would be at a lower price, but yeah, that's about what I expected it to be. Then we also have a step-by-step guide in there telling you all that you need to do, and eventually you have so you could change just about anything you have on the character selection screen. You could change, which means your origin, your race, your look, your gender, and all of that stuff can be changed as you are on the character selection screen. You cannot change your character name on that. That's just a note on there. But just about anything else. And you can't change your class. And of course, that means your new race must be compatible with your class.
Because that otherwise we really would have Hobbit champions then.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, for $24.95, you could have no.
That would be so awesome, but
no. Now,
I have a reserve champion just in case.
Yes. And they were noting some of the other things. For example, that your racial passives, for the most part, they will be saved just in case you change back. But why go through all the trouble of changing your race if you're going to change back? So, but that's another. But most of your stuff that you have, for example, you don't lose your progress that you made in the deeds. If you change race and then change back, you'll be restored to any progress you made in your racial deeds. But if you change race, you won't have any progress in there because you're a new race and those are considered to be completely different deeds, so you won't have any progress on those. So expect to redo those racial deeds if you go around changing your race, assuming that the new race has a large number of racial deeds. Because I know that some don't. I don't know. Do high elves have any racial?
Yes.
Yeah.
If they do have a full set of them, okay.
Oh yeah.
Technically, you should also have to go buy new armor, because if you're going from a dwarf male to a human female, there's a bit of a size and body
Bring
difference
the
there.
breastplate stretcher.
Well, that's obviously the armorer follows you around as you're going around doing all this.
Well, yes, I'm just saying, you would think that logically speaking, it's like you would have to go back and be like, give all the pants back to the Rangers because they no longer fit, and I was a dwarf when I got these pants from you. I'm going to have to give them back now, though, because as you can see, I am a woman of Rohan.
Don't ask how that happened. If your character changed between short and tall race, all your mount skills will switch between the pony and the horse versions. Some steed skills and steeds will have their name changes, and some mounts will have different default names. Any rename applied to a mount will not carry over to a different version, although the name will be retained for future should you change back to the earlier race.
I'm just imagining the size of the pigs that, like, hobbits ride, and suddenly you're like a high elf, and you're just like, the pig size doesn't change.
I think that was part of the problem that delayed the change in the first place, honestly. They were having problems with the mount sizing.
So click on the link in the show notes to see the full FAQ on how to change your race, gender, or origin in LOTRO, or change all three if you like. Actually, if you change race, you probably will have to change your origin, because I don't think any of the origins will carry over from race to race.
Right.
I am a human from the Shire. Wait.
I forgot who I was because I kept hitting my head on the beams in the hobbit holes.
I am a high elf from Mordor.
Whoops.
Well, that's because after that,
That's where you lost your memory. So
memory for 3,000 years. Yes.
I was so shocked I had to lay down and take a nap.
Very long nap, yes.
You wake up after that, it's like, man, this place has changed.
Let's head to the LOTRO Beacon now. This is LOTRO Beacon issue 185. For our community spotlight, the Hobbity Yule calendar continues with daily fun. You can find the calendar on the Hobbity Yule blog. Fibro Jedi has you covered for help with this year's Yule festival, so you could find the updated guide over at Fibro Jedi's blog. Always good to know, telling you everything you need to know about the festivals. And LOTRO Builder aims to be your complete LOTRO database. Their website includes all sorts of useful information, and you can learn more about who is making it on their website. And now for our weekly comment. How does your character light a fire?
Well, my main is a hunter, so she just leans down and the typist clicks a little button and...
And whoosh, you travel to your last campsite fight. Oh, wait, that was the wrong button.
Wrong button. That's the problem with being a hunter.
Yeah, I was about to say, Celevorn, my hunter, he actually, sets down a hunter campfire. That's how he makes one. And it's a press of a key, Morkendeer, though, he makes other people do the fire because he's like, what do I look like? I'm flammable, okay?
Well, I'm a cook, so therefore I do sometimes on some of my characters. I have been creating campfire kits so that I could create a campfire. It's especially useful when you get that stupid cold deep up on you.
Now, my
that
runekeeper kind of just brandishes this rock and fire appears.
Yeah, that's crack. He's like, runestones, like, here.
Yeah,
By the
Terry,
way, Terry,
runs with a pocket hunter, so yes.
I was going to say, by the way, Terry, I have been trying to throw a campfire down in the middle of the table on those days when we're dealing with frost debuffs at Corfu, and I actually have been throwing them down doing the snowball fights. If there's some lovely sacrificial victim who has put themselves up on the snowman to be targeted at, if I'm on a hunter, I run up and I give him a campfire to try to help him out. Doing my good deed.
Yeah, because Terry usually just says, I need a campfire. And Sans obliges by pushing one of the buttons. I don't know which button.
Usually not the wrong one.
Usually not the wrong button.
One time I accidentally desperate flighted instead. One time I accidentally ported us to a campsite fire. But most of the time I actually build a campfire.
I need a campfire. Flee!
In fact, we got into that situation on Tuesday, and it was, I'm going to need a campfire. And Sans was like, oh, yeah, I can do that.
Yes, there is that.
But my last two characters,
hunter.
Heistja, she steals someone's campfire because she's a berg. But she'll steal someone's. But Glompla, how does she actually start a fire? She has a gender reveal party for a friend, and it starts the fire.
Ouch.
Oh, Lord.
Too soon.
She's also a cook, though, so it could be that, too.
Now, when I was thinking of this from the point of view in character, first thing I thought, wouldn't I just use a flint and steel in order to...
Yeah, that's my high elf Kessuer. He's like, flint and steel because I'm not a weirdo, y'all.
In character for Terry. Hey, Sans, I need a campfire.
Sans says, oh, hey, I just happen to be carrying around all these loose campfire materials in my pockets.
Anything other than killing stuff. You want me to make it dead? Can do. You want a campfire? That's what the hunter's for.
I do wonder how my little hobbit hunter carries all of the supplies for an on-demand campfire everywhere, but...
We carry boulders and don't break a sweat.
Yes. Yeah, and boulders and statues and campfire materials all at the same time sometimes.
Yes. Let's head into the fan site news. Laurel's LOTRO Den has great ideas to decorate your home for Yuletide. Find screenshots and more on Laurel's LOTRO Den. And LOTRO Stream is your first stop to find LOTRO on Twitch. This week, Druid's Fire heads back to Westfold. Skymatic runs War of the Three Peaks, and Uger adventures in Gladden. And also on Twitch, Horik Amarth heads to Mordor, Strimton gets dark, and the green-eyed gamer gets used to Yellow Line Runekeeper. And over on YouTube, Holiday Berry has video from a recent Doing Ensemble concert. Zaga camps with dwarf folk, and the Lost Traveler gets scary.
I thought you said the Lost Trouser. I was like, is this a ranger thing again?
They forgot they gave him away.
Yeah. And for our screenshot of the week, brothers and sisters of the Blue Mountains Regiment defend the ford as one in this week's screenshot of the week. Send your screenshot by emailing it to lotro@stayingstonegames.com. And that is the LOTRO Beacon for this week. So let's go to our store sales. Terry, what's on sale?
Well, first up is the weekly coupon, which gets you a free universal optional ingredient with coupon code OPTCRAFT now through December 17th. Our store sales are 25% off character slots, vet status, stat packages, XP boosts, also through December 17th. And our Yuletide sales, we have 35% off account-wide steeds, which is awesome, 50% off skill and slayer deed boosts, which is meh, and 75% off war steed color. Guys!
See, I told you Bofal needs a war steed now.
However,
I can't even buy it and save it for later.
I know. Well, yes, you can, because you don't actually need a war steed to be able to get the war steed colors. You just have to be at the right level to get the war steed colors.
Okay, I'll have to see. He might have to level up
buy them before level 75 or 76. They actually will not even show up in the store unless you are of the level where you can go get a war steed.
Cry!
And really go get a war steed. You have to be like level 75, 76 before that stuff will even show up in the store for you. Which is kind of a shame because it means you can't get it on the lower level characters who don't have war steeds yet. Yeah. And some of us don't have time to level everybody to 75 before Thursday.
I'm crying.
I know. I'm sorry.
A thought for those who are going to partake of using the race change token, get thee to the store and get your skill and slayer deed boosts so you don't have to spend as much time catching up on your racial deeds.
There you go.
Good idea.
Nice idea.
If you don't have 50 bazillion of them dropping from Hobbit presents.
Well, they always want to give me candles and power potions. You might not.
Combat run speed boosts.
Yes. My warden got some of those last.
All those useless things that the hobbits drop. Wait
a minute. Did you say your warden got combat run speed boost? That's like the hobbits sending Gwere tracking tomes.
Pretty much.
Sir, do you have no faith in my skills?
And it says cannot use because of some other trait. And I was like, what? And it turns out it's because I'm a high elf and I already have a plus 10% run speed, so I can't use it from a racial trait.
One of these days we're going to have a conversation about Hobbit presents in general.
Yeah.
Mark that on the calendar for a slow week.
Okay, for Hobbit presents. Oh, yes. Then let's head into our site news for this week, where the only thing we wanted to do was to once again plug Fibro Jedi's Yule Festival Guide, which has been, as I said, updated for 2020.
And we kind of want to do our usual annual talk about how not to do things when you're in this festival.
Talk about how not to do things. Yeah, so when you're doing the Yule Festival, please be respectful of the fact that there are other people trying to do the Yule Festival. Please do not run around and kill all of the walking trees. You only need 9. That's especially obnoxious for minis.
And the counter in the middle of your screen will be way behind your actual kill number, so just count as you go.
Don't rely on that. Yeah, count as you go, or put your quest tracker up and look at that. The other thing I have to say is, for the love of all things Middle Earth, do not wake up every single snow beast! There's no reason to wake up every single snow beast! Because there's only 3 of them! You can do all 3 tiers on one snow beast. You really can. You don't need to wake up every single one, because that means everybody else has to wait for them to go back to sleep. Also, on a side note, can we please have more snow beasts? Because I'm really tired of following the snow beast around and waiting for only to have somebody else waking up before I can hit the chair.
But see, they're completely unimpressed by our merriment, and they can't find enough of them hired on for the holiday to lay around and let us wake them up.
Like, there's room. there's room for at least one more, maybe two more. We could have like 6 snow beasts, and then maybe one of them will almost always be asleep because the other 4 or 5 will be walking because somebody already woke them up.
That would be nice to have more snow beasts.
So, Terry, I get it that you're a little frustrated.
A little frustrated. A couple of helpful tips, by the way. If you're doing the chasing off the townspeople because they've been offensive, the one up by Mara Sandy Downs and the one down at the other side of Winterhome, those are the 2 that take the longest to respawn. Helpful tip, if you happen to see the character's name as they say their whatever sorrowful phrase they say before they run away, if you click them in the chat, it will actually highlight them like it will for a target, and you can kind of watch them walk off. And when it disappears off of your screen, they will be there for you to click on.
That's handy.
Yeah, so that way you're not like hanging around going, okay, how long is it going to take? So like when Bill Hyde says whatever it is he says and goes trudging off, because he takes forever. Because he walks around the corner and down the hill and kind of around another corner, and he really does, and he trudges, of course, because he's really slow. He's like Sarah Oakart speed walking off. But he'll respawn like 3 seconds after he's disappeared. So it's helpful to actually know when it is he's disappeared so that you can be all ready to be the one to click him before somebody else gets him. Because again, that's one of those, they did not think that through, and that these things disappear and there's 50,000 people trying to get the same mob and only one of them is going to succeed.
Yeah.
So, 10 of us enter, 1 of us leaves?
Yeah.
Okay. It's the Thunderdome.
Yep. It's the Thunderdome.
It's not Winterhome, it's Thunderdome.
Yeah, I don't actually remember the one who's up by the front gate by Mara Sandy Downs, but he's another one who takes a while. But again, it's like 3 seconds after he disappears, he actually will respawn. Because the rest of them come back fairly quickly because they actually don't walk off that far before they disappear. So they come back a lot faster. It's just the one at the front and the one at the end. Their path is a lot longer, so you have to actually, So if you see them, like if you happen to catch in the chat, if you're paying attention to the general chat, which a lot of people don't, if you've got world chat and everything else going on in there, this is why putting world chat in separate tabs is helpful, because then you can keep your general chat clear of all of that nonsense. And then you can just click on the thing and you can kind of watch the little circle as it pats around, and then when it boops off your screen, they'll be ready to go in about 3 seconds.
Very well. Anyone have anything they wish to say about this year's cosmetics?
Other than they're really cool? They're really cool.
I wish that the boots died on the tunic set. The pants boots thing, the boots don't change color, it's just the pants.
The boots don't change color, but the little diamonds on the boots change color.
Yeah, but I still wish I could dye the boots. But otherwise, it's gorgeous.
I kind of like that the boots stay brown, because I tend to have brown boots anyway, almost always. So I like that it's just the little decorative touches that dye. But yeah, I get where you're coming from. But yeah, they are really great. And I really want that poinsettia Yule tree. Sarissa hasn't been doing festivals because I'm kind of festivaled out on that particular alt, but she's going to be running the Yule Fest because she needs another Huron pet, because if she wants a Huron pet, she's got to go back to Fangorn, and that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah. So yes, a poinsettia horn. That's quite.
It's actually really cute. It's not as adorable as the Yule tree that drops out of the holiday presents. That thing is just like a walking little baby Christmas tree, but yeah, it is actually legitimately adorable.
Right. Anything else anyone wishes to add relating to the festival? Then let's go on to our weekend LOTRO and Arendis. What were you up to?
This week, Landrival Arundus took a break from questing in Wildermore to participate in the Yule Festival, which is probably my favorite LOTRO festival. I really do recommend checking out Fibro Jedi's guide if you're new to the festival or just need to brush up on some of the quests. It really is really thorough, and Fibro Jedi always does a fantastic job with his guides.
Yeah, he does.
I also went warging to check out the new creep changes, and I'll let other people talk about this, but I'll just say I was beyond excited to not be dying every 10 minutes or every time we ran into a freep.
Right?
It was really great. So thank you, Standing Stone, for actually making it enjoyable or more enjoyable to play creep side. Other than that, I also went questing with a new LOTRO player with my baby Stout Axe Hunter. And I said earlier that I had a story about the Christmas tree or the Yule horn. This new player who has maybe opened a Hobbit present maybe once at this point opened up his first time with the Yule one and got the little tiny Christmas tree horn on his first roll. So
Nice.
I am extremely jealous. It is as adorable as Terry described. I mean, it is literally a little baby Christmas tree. It's got ornaments. It's got little lights on it. It jingles as it moves. It's got little bells on it. It is the most adorable thing, and I am very jealous. So I'm gonna have to keep my eye on these Hobbit presents. But congrats to Go Trekkin' Son, which was the name of this dwarf. Shout out to all of the luck that you have. But that was pretty much my week. Calabathian, how was yours?
Well, Academy Calabathian found a very real hidden settlement in Angmar that Esteldine could take notes from, and this is on the Academy. There were no redactions required, and the dwarves hope orcs will come looking for a fight. They it's the most hidden thing, and they don't either. It's just like, because they were actually attacked, and we had to help fend off this attack. And it's like the dwarfs were just like, okay, back to business. And it's like Esteldine. It's like one person's going to run off and tell Angmar about their hidden ranger camp in Redacted, or whatever. And it's like we have to run all the way across the landscape to find the one person, and like keep them from doing it because it was a spy.
Oh, and there's an entire skirmish to stop someone from spreading it too.
Yeah, and it's like, but here are a bunch of dwarves in Angmar
Yeah.
that have a hidden place, and it's like, and y'all are better hidden than these rangers way off down there. And it's like, if you really think about it, the rangers that are actually hidden in Angmar are like better hidden. And it's like, you know what? I'm not going to get into that though. I also went warging on Killian along with everyone else because we have our little group that would do that because we wanted to go see. But I went warging on Killian to test the new fixes, and I'm still giddy from delight because we were living deliciously. Yes, so many bites taken. It was great. And I took Morkindir through some more missions and highly enjoyed the fact that his stealth lets him like max out his daily burgle attempts toward the deed while sneaking directly to the objective of that particular mission. It's like, kill this big boss, and it's like he threads silently through everything to the boss and kills the boss, and it takes maybe 5 minutes. And it's like, okay, that was simple. So, yeah, I'm enjoying being a burglar in these missions because it makes it so much easier. This is not going well for my, Slayer deeds by any means, but yeah, I like it. So, Gorindus, how about you?
Well, my Hobbit that I'm running with, the Hobbit Hunter that runs with the Hobbit Mini. We have made it to Nar's Peak now and ended Waith, and then kind of stalled out because, well, the festival happened. That being said, we did take them to the festival tonight, so, maybe they'll at least get a little bit of fun. And my guardian has started Book 4 in Moria, which is going around preparing for the battles, which are going to be the skirmishes in Book 5. So, yeah, I'm kind of eager to get on with things and get back out under the sky again with my guardian. I too went a wargame on the moors, and I found it very enlightening. The nature of like free people's players versus creepside players, and how we seem to look at things. It amuses me that the freeps are complaining because they cannot face roll us anymore. And I keep thinking these are probably the same people that complain that PvE is a face roll. But they were face rolling us. Anyway, I finally had a chance to start slaying deeds for many classes. And by that I mean I had like a rank 4 warg. I know, not very high, because it was frustrating and disheartening to try to play creepside and do any of the deeds on our side of things, because you would die too quickly to be able to get anything started. The only thing I had started was a Bjorning, and that's because we were in a great big huge mass going after one of the fraids one night, and that's been months ago. So I had a Bjorning, and it was just because I got a bite in before I died from a Runekeeper, I think. Or maybe it was a champ, or it could have been a Berg or captain. I'm not really sure. It's great because, mostly for once I was not ganked, stunned, bled, or slain before I could at least get a chance to get a bite in. So I understand that the free people players are frustrated right now, and they think that we're too powerful, and maybe it does feel that way. But working as a group, running in, say, a warg pack or with a clutch of spiders or a bunch of I don't know, what would a black arrow collective down, a brace of black arrows? I don't know. Being able to work together in a group like that just to try to stay alive has given us a lot of skills, and all of a sudden you guys are coming out and we're working still in groups because we were terrified to go around by ourselves and even try to do PvE turn-ins if you're like below rank 15, which I'm most definitely below that. So learn to work together, learn to play your class really well, and come and take us out. We'll be glad for you to come and join us. That's the only thing I guess I can say about the Moors. On a more maybe pleasant note or positive note, I just attended this evening a wedding on Landerval. Yes, a wedding. The typists of Peltar and Calarian met through being in the same kin and fell in love in real life. And he ended up moving 2,000 miles, literally driving 2,000 miles to be with her. And they can't get married the way they want in real life because, well, pandemic. So instead they brought their celebration to Middle Earth. And it just reminds me once again of how SSG has created this place that's really welcoming and can be used to celebrate joy with other human beings in our currently quarantining world. So many blessings to the typists, and may your life be filled with joy, just like it has been in the game, I'm sure. Thank you for sharing your wedding with us there in Middle-earth. Sans, what did you get up to?
Well, an Aryad Runekeeper ran around Talitha Nor helping out there. There was this one really cool young warrior, and helped this really cool young warrior find the warrior who gave him birth. So, that was pretty cool. And then, we had to kind of babysit him, though, because he was, like, on level with all the mobs who wanted to kill him still. He holds his own really well. But, yeah, I had to do a little bit of watching there, though, because at level 120 something, all the mobs are gray. It's like, wait, why is there fighting? Oh, yeah, the kid's still level 100. So, that was pretty fun, though. And Nitesh and Maven helped me with that. Because we were doing some deeding for all the virtues and other rewards you can get from that. And I joined a battle in Elderslade and provided some fire when necessary. It was kind of fun. There were trenches and nasty gases and a really cool named warg that we stumbled into and fought, and it was an epic battle of satisfying proportions. Terry and Pineleaf weren't nearly as happy. But, like, we were just running around, and Terry's like, instead of, like, questing, let's just run around and kill everything. And I was like, sweet, kill everything!
Well, the quest was to kill everything.
Okay,
so.
The quest was to kill everything, too. So we're, like, running around killing everything in the Elderslade battle, whatever it's actually called. And, then there was this named warg, and it had, like, the really cool flaming name tag thing. And, I was like, sweet. But we hadn't, like, buffed, we hadn't eaten, we didn't have scrolls or tokens, there were just 3 of us.
We didn't know it was out there until we were fighting it.
I hear Terry's, like, grand slamming kaboom on it, and I was like, oh yeah, we're fighting it. And, like, we had it down to about half, I think, before Terry died. And then it was trading off between chasing Pineleaf and chasing me, and then Pineleaf died. And then I was about to die, and I was, like, running in circles because it had a bleed and I couldn't pot it. And then this warden came out of nowhere, and the warg died, and it was fantastic. And Pineleaf and Terry said no, we were not going to engage it again. But it was fun. And then the next time we encountered it, it did have a warband, like, icon on the map. So maybe we shouldn't have been taking it on with just 3 of us on level. But it was fun. And then I went warging with our warg pack, and we actually had 8 of us out on the landscape, varying in ranks between, what were we, like, rank 4 to rank 10. And
yeah, I think so.
It was a lot of fun because, like, well, okay, so for the most part, there weren't very many freeps out. But, like, at one point, a burglar jumped out of nowhere and, like, stunned me and started applying all the bleeds to me. And I didn't instantly die when the burglar popped out of nowhere. And not only did I not instantly die, but, like, my warg pack was around me, and the whole pack didn't instantly die. And the burglar eventually hipsed out of there, so, like, we didn't kill the burglar either. But it was amazing to not be instantly slaughtered by the burglar who was waiting to hopefully slaughter us. And I would have died if it wasn't for my pack. I did die the one time I encountered a lore master. But it was a lot of fun to like, survive a burglar attack, because that, like, never happens. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. How was your week, Terry?
Fairly busy, actually. Busier than it's been in a while. So, Terry Adwin achieved the strange and unpronounceable top tier rep rank with the Gabalaka. Which means
Congratulations.
Yeah, and today I capped out the currency for the 3rd time, so yay. I've now purchased all 3 sets of cosmetic armor, several cosmetic weapons. I bought the cosmetic goat pets. I bought the regular, the mount, the goat mount. I forgot that they were new housing decorations, so I forgot to look at those today when I was trying to figure out what the heck need to spend these things on. Yeah. So that was fun. Still doing missions. I have made it into tier 10 of Mountain of Missions. I have like 18 or 16 more missions to go to finish out that deed. So I'm going to actually slow down on my mission progression because I don't really need to do tons of them every week now. I also learned that 5 goblin bombs and 8 rocks will turn the tide of the entire war! What?
I mean, it might have for one person.
Kind of maybe spoilerish, except I'm not really going to give any details away. But yeah, so we talked to a dwarf who thinks, obviously it's a stout-axe dwarf who came out of Mordor, who thinks that in order for us to actually make any progress fighting the orcs and goblins is we need to think like orcs and goblins and set traps. And in order to set these traps, he needs 8 rocks, and they're not even really big rocks. They're actually, I mean, they call them large rocks, but they're really not all that big. So 8 rocks and 5 goblin bombs, and we're going to turn the tide of the entire war with this. Yeah. So that works out about as well as expected. By which I mean that some other dwarf gets himself trapped by this stuff. Because of course. And so when that failed, we got out onto the war landscape, and most people in game probably when they see trolls are like, yeah, that's a troll. We should maybe probably take a minute and eat up and buff or something before we go take on. No, Terry's, it's a troll! Yay! I'm gonna kill it.
Charge!
Very happy to see trolls. Actually, I am at 72 of 120 of Troll Slayer Advanced for Elder Slade, so a little bit more to go. I have 2 more Slayer deeds to complete for Elder Slade. I have Troll Slayer and Warg Slayer because I completed Hobgoblin Slayer today. So 2 more deeds for my Slayer deed.
By the way, from the chat, concerning trolls, if you're a dwarf, Frostbluff is the best place to work on your Troll Slayer deed. No trolls with lower levels and faster respawns in the game than the wood trolls there. And the best thing, they're there all year round. So if you save your map, you can go there when there isn't an ongoing Yule festival.
In fact, please don't deed on them during the Yule festival when other people are around trying to do the quest.
Right.
Yes, sorry about that. I just wanted to interject since you were talking about trolls.
Well, and
see Terry's note earlier.
Well, and I actually was trying to reply to Sam in the chat, but Mixler logged me out again, so I can't. But not only can you save your map and go back when it's not festival time, but you can actually barter for extra maps. So you can go back non-festival time. And they're like 1 token a piece for the extra maps, which is great. But stout axes don't actually have that deed. They have a different deed, different racial deed. And speaking of stout axe dwarves, my stout axe burglar did some Yule festival. He got villain on his first trip into the Frostbluff Theater, which is very appropriate for a burglar, especially a Mordor burglar. And then my experience in the Yule festival results was creative swearing at other people in Frostbluff region concerning see above snow beasts and trolls. Yeah, because being a burglar trying to kill the trolls is not fun, okay? Because you have to sneak up on stuff. Although I did actually remember that he can throw a knife at things, and that helped a little bit. But minis are just like, yeah. Yeah. So, and then my Arkenstone Runekeeper, I decided not to talk about warging, even though I was warging, but I decided not to talk about it. So my third highlight this week is actually my Arkenstone Runekeeper, who is still like way levels below the rest of the group, but she actually remembered this week, before getting into lots of trouble, that she was a squishy of the group, because normally I come off of being a champion into being a Runekeeper, and I try to champion as the squishy underleveled Runekeeper, and it doesn't work. And I did not do that this week. This week I actually remembered that I was a squishy. So we got to mobs and I was like, you guys can do that. I'll just hang back here.
Yeah, you stood behind the minstrel.
I stood behind. Yeah, I took shelter behind the Hobbit minstrel. Yeah. And questing in Angmar, because we went from the western half of Angmar, where at level 43 stuff was yellow and white named for me, to the eastern half of Angmar, where stuff was orange and red named for me. And I decided that I wasn't going to actually get in the middle of all of that mess. In fact, it was funny because they're like, oh, leave lead the way, we'll follow you. So they did, except because I was in the lead, I was aggroing everything. So we got to where we were going, and I was like, get it off me, get it off me, get it off me. It actually worked out, though, because when we got to the area where there's a bunch of trolls and stuff to kill, they're like, you know what? You're the squishy, so why don't you take the torch and you can run it to the siege tower while we kill all of the stuff and keep it out of your way. And then I also was the one who got to carry the turtle egg. We haven't done that quest in forever, because you really don't want to do it when you're not in a group, because you got to kill your way through trolls. Yeah, so I carried the turtle egg and summoned the giant massive turtle, which promptly hatched and came at me. And I was like, ah!
It was hilarious. It was so funny. Because Terry's like, oh, hey, look, it's the turtle. It's the turtle. And then she's like, no, don't come at me, not me. Stop it. What are you doing?
I don't think I've ever done that quest before.
The last time I did that quest was on my burglar Sarissa, because we were questing the landscape on level, and I'm pretty sure it was the exact same experience, because as the burglar, because obviously I'm not of use in combat as the burglar, I got the honor of carrying the egg, except I was the burglar, so I got to disappear after I dropped it in the bonfire, and it was I wasn't hanging out there for it to come attack me afterwards. Yeah, so that was my week. Pineleaf, how about you?
My main warden finally completed the top tier of a mountain of missions. Yay!
Yay!
So I think that is pretty much everything done, except for I think I still need to kill a few more trolls in order to finish up the trolls.
They're really not easy to come by out there.
Yeah. Yeah, because right now my way of getting trolls are things like, oh, of course, today would have been the 5 trolls that you get in that Sundagrot mission.
Yeah.
So we get occasionally you get some in missions, but yes, trolls are not the easiest mob to grab in that area. Then my Arkenstone Warden reached the first tier of missions rep, so I reached the first rep tier there. I have not done the mission associated with it yet, because I said, all right, I've got no food and I'm getting pounded in the face. Maybe I better get some food before I try to do any more missions with this character. So I believe I parked myself in Mickle Delving, hoping to get some cooking done before I go into any more missions with that character. And then on Friday Night Fights, we ran the Halls of Night, Battle of Frost Bluff, and Thievery and Mischief. And I think that's the first time I've done Halls of Night in a long time. I think it's been years since I've done that. Might even be my 3rd or 4th time total of running that particular instance. So that was quite interesting, being able to do that again. And it was the first time, obviously, for this character, because as soon as I finished this one, it was telling me, oh, now I need to speak to a certain minstrel in Angmar. Okay. Obviously, I took that quest a long time ago, but never did the Halls of Night. So I'll need to go and turn in that quest. And that's it for my week in LOTRO. Our top supporter for this month is LOTRObuild.com. LOTRObuild is a collection of full LOTRO databases, including item database, relics database, and titles database. Also, you can use it right from your Discord server with LOTRObuild bot. We currently have 15 supporters on Patreon. And if you'd like to join this illustrious rate of players and help support LOTRO players, you can go to the donations page. You can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money would be used for our podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. If you wish to support us without joining Patreon, you could contact Drac at lotroplayers.com. We did not receive any emails this week, but if you'd like to send us one, you can send it to podcast@LotraPlayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, Lotra Players @LotraPlayers, Arendis @Arendis, Pineleaf @Pineleaf Needles, Senswinda @Senswinda, Terry Edwin @Terry Edwin, Guarendis @Guarendis, Calabathian @Calabathian. And the Players Alliance has 2 shows. On Wednesdays at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News, and on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News. You can join us for our shows at lotraplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight. And this is Potty Noodles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.